Welcome to episode 34 of the Unfiltered Podcast. I'm your host, Brittany.
This is your co-host, Ivy.
And Ivy, we have seen each other the past 2 weekends.
Right, and we're going to see random. Each other again this weekend.
I guess we could spill the beans now since they won't hear it until after the fact. But one of our friends is getting engaged this weekend, so we're going in town to surprise her. So we're excited about that. So we're going to meet up down in Charlotte. And we'll be hanging out again this weekend and then again the following weekend.
Exactly. So congratulations, Kristen, on your engagement.
Yes, Kristen and Lance, congratulations. We're super excited for both of y'all. Kristen, we have been knowing about this for probably about a month and a half, 2 months now, Ivy. So we've been knowing about it for some time now. So we've been keeping a big secret from you. It was so weird because last weekend when I was texting her when I was down in Martinsville, I was like, "Oh, hope to see you soon." I wanted to look, "I'll see you next weekend."
Right.
But I couldn't. And I know you actually saw her in person. I only talked to her on the phone, so
we'll text her on the phone. We gotta link up sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't wait to come see you. You come see me, and I'm just like,
she don't have no idea. She has no idea. Yeah, so congratulations to Kristen and Lance. We are super, super excited for y'all. And Kristen, we hope that it goes exactly as you imagine is your dream day. And we are here to witness all the wonderfulness of you two coming together, creating your union. So we're excited. With that being said, Ivy, how has your week been? Because I saw you on Saturday.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I am dead dog tired.
Same.
My mic is picking up. The thing looked real low on my head.
You said it looked what?
Like the thing, it looks real low, so I don't even know if it was picking up my voice.
Oh, okay.
That's weird. Okay. Anyway, so it's only Wednesday, and my week has been crazy. I'm just ready for the weekend, honestly. I'm so tired, even right now.
Me too. Well, we ain't getting no rest this weekend.
That didn't work.
I'm getting some feedback. Do you hear?
I do, but I don't know where it's coming.
Let me see. Is it me?
Might be me. No?
Oh, wait, it just stopped. I don't know what it was.
Okay. It might have been me. I don't know.
Okay. Sure. But yeah, we ain't getting no rest this weekend either because we both have to travel. So
right.
I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. So I have something planned every single weekend this month. I literally do not have a free weekend until June. I think it's 4th or something like that. And when I say I'm taking June, I was gonna lie and say I'm taking a break in June, but that's also a lie because I have another big event that I'm going to, another surprise event I'm going to in June. So yeah, I am trying to take a break in June. That is the intent, to take a break in June, but we'll see. With that being said, my week, actually, you know what? I'll share this with you guys. I'm usually pretty transparent with you guys. A couple of weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago today, my doctor diagnosed me with ADHD. Kind of had a feeling that I had some things going on, just really was lacking focus. My mind was everywhere. It's just been a lot going on. I thought oh, you're busy. And then I started realizing it's a little bit different than just being busy. I couldn't sit still. I just had a lot going on. And I jokingly said to Justin, I said, what? I think I have ADD. I was just joking. And he was just yeah. But he wasn't joking. And I was like, oh shit. So coupled with the comment from my brother about when do you sleep was two eye-opening moments for me. And I was like, let me just go see about it or whatever. So based off of the, I guess whatever steps she takes to diagnose me, she said she considered that she felt like I did have it. So she started me on a really low dose of Adderall. And so I'm going to get a second opinion because why not? It's just one of those things where I'm not trying to be on medication for the rest of my life, right?
Right.
Just to function. And so I'm going to get a second opinion, but she gave me a really low dose, literally 10 milligrams extended release. And I've never been an Adderall person. I know it was such a thing when I was in law school and in college and stuff, but never just, I'd be like, I'm taking, first, one thing about me, I'm going to take a nap. That's just what it is. So I'm not an all-night study type person. I definitely studied better in the wee hours of the morning, but it was mainly because I got more done because there was no distractions. There was no distractions. Nobody was on Instagram. Nobody was on Facebook. It was nothing to really engage. Nobody was awake to text me all day. So I was definitely a late night study person or whatever. But anyways, so y'all, I started it and it has been a interesting ride for me. So I've been on it for, is it 2 weeks now? About 2 weeks now. And so it has the exact opposite effects as it's supposed to have on me. All I can do is sleep when I take it. Like, and not like little sleep. Like I'm talking about big sleep, like deep sleep, like can't function. Like it has been completely awful. And I stopped taking it over the weekend just to test out to see if like, let me see if in fact it is this drug. Yes, it absolutely is. I went back to feeling normal as far as my energy level. I don't see it making me focus any more or any less, but it definitely made me more tired. What I did notice was that I was able to keep my cool in like stressful situations a lot easier. Like things that would normally irritate me and bother me, I was just like, oh, whatever. Like it wasn't a big deal. I sat at my desk. Like I sat still for a few hours during the workday. And that is like not a thing, like ever. The max I'll sit still is maybe an hour at a time. And that's like max on like a really good day. So for me, there was that, but it wasn't like when I was sitting down, I was doing this like super productive. I was just doing the same shit I would do if I was standing up. So it was like, we're not standing up if I was moving around.
Yeah.
So I talked to my doctor about it today when I went back to her, and she put me on a new medication. So I'm going to give that a try, but I'm thinking that my therapist does not recommend the drug. So she said she thinks I can make some behavioral lifestyle changes that can help me with the diagnosis. So I was kind of like, I don't want to make behavioral changes. Like I just want it to be fixed. But now that I've been on it and I'm so tired all the time, I'd rather make behavioral changes. I'm like, okay, so we'll try this other drug out for maybe a week or so. If I'm tired again, then I'm not going to do it. I can't do anything. Like I take these like 3-4 hour naps in the middle of the daytime. And then I'm still sleeping very good at night. I have no problem sleeping. So so that whole thing that y'all experience when y'all have this super like energy and focus and this super high, I don't have all of that. And apparently 6 to 8% of adults have this effect on Adderall. So it's not super uncommon for it to happen. And I'm not surprised because I think I've told you guys before, any medication that is sleep sensitive at all, I'm going to feel it 17 times more. So a Benadryl knocked out like all the time. Right. So anyways, so I've been dealing with that. So it's been really hard on me to get anything done. I have not been productive this week at all. So showing up here for y'all today, for both of us, has been a lot. I just wanted to stay on my bed. I took a nap up into the very last minute, which is why I'm in my nap clothes and everything. So with that being said, I guess we can go ahead and get into the topics because we got a lot. Social buzz segment might just be the whole podcast, y'all, because we got a lot to talk about. I'll start with the two of the messiest things I think that's going on. We'll start with Real Housewives of Atlanta and Porsha and Falyn and what's his name? Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we both DM'd each other like, what the fuck? So I'll let you give some background on that because we both watch it.
Child. Did you send it to me or did I send it to you?
I think I sent it to you and then you sent something else to me later. Yeah.
So first, like when I first saw it, it was like Porsha and Falyn's ex-husband, whatever he is, were dating. It was just like, they were dating. She announced it on her Instagram page.
So I didn't even get the Falyn part when I first heard about it. All I saw was that Porsha was dating someone. I was just like, oh, okay. Like, cool. Like, that's good for her. And I kept seeing the comments were like a zillion comments. And I was like, well, what is this about? That's what I think
she addressed it in her long ass caption.
I thought that she posted a second one. No, you're right. You're right.
I don't know. There's been so many posts circulating.
Maybe I didn't know. Maybe I didn't pick up on who Falyn was. But you're right. You did send it to me because I remember when I liked it, I saw you had already liked it. So I didn't send it to you, but then you sent me something that was like, I think about the next part.
When I initially liked the post, I didn't read the caption. I just
that had to be what I did too. Like, she has somebody. She's in love.
I just saw her, and then I think it was him, and then what's his name, Dennis. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I just liked it because it was like a Mother's Day thing or whatever. Right. So I never read the caption until you sent it to me, and I was just like, oh shit, like what is going on? And so I initially saw that, and then probably not even an hour later, some blog had posted that they were in fact engaged. Mm-hmm. I was like, bitch, like what the fuck?
Yes, literally, I think you said me like, bitch, like it was wild. So, for those of y'all who do not watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, let's give y'all some background. Okay, so Porsha is one of the main cast members. She's been on there for probably 7 or 8 seasons now. She used to be married to Cordell Stewart, for all the guys that are football fans. I would say it's somewhat of a toxic marriage / relationship with Cordell. She didn't have a lot of freedom. It seemed like he was a bit controlling or whatever. So we've seen Porsha through the first 2 years. I think she was married. Through the 3rd year, she was like getting divorced. The 4th year, like blossoming and turning into this not a completely different Porsha, but just more free Porsha. So Porsha's like 39 years old. She just had a baby like 2 years ago. And so she got engaged on the show to this guy that we didn't really know a lot about, but apparently he's like a really big entrepreneur in the Atlanta area. He owns nightclubs and hot dog stands and all kind of different businesses that he's, a part of. And so we're all like excited for Porsha. She gets engaged on camera. Like everything seems to be good. They get pregnant. Well, they get pregnant first and he proposes while she's pregnant. Like, it's wonderful. We're all like, great, cool. We're so happy for Porsha. She deserves love. So then there's like this big scandal where Dennis is caught cheating or whatever with some reality TV girl, some, I don't know, like white or Hispanic girl or something, I think. And so he gets caught cheating. They break up, but eventually he wins his quote unquote family back, like season before last season. He wins his family back. And so they go into 2020, into the pandemic, like reconciling. So we're talking about as in January through March, at least January, March, April of last year, they were together, as in 2020. So, I would say more than that because the pandemic started in March. So I would say March through the first few months of 2020, they're together. And so the show starts to record. It picks up that they're broke up, that the pandemic pretty much made them realize that they're not a good fit for each other. And Porsha's just like, I'm over it. Like, she just realized that like that she couldn't get past like the stuff that was going on. They just weren't a good fit. They agreed to co-parent. So we go into this season that just aired, and Porsha's just living her best life. I won't get into all the drama that surrounded that, but Porsha's just living life, being Porsha, having fun, enjoying being single, beautiful, like all of that. So fast forward to this situation. Oh, I'm sorry. So in this season, Porsha introduces us to her friend, and I use friend. I'm doing that in air quotes for those of y'all who can't see me. Falyn. And so the way that Falyn is introduced to the cast is as a friend of Porsha's, according to the show. Falyn was on maybe 3 or 4 episodes. She was not a regular cast member. She was a very small part of the storyline. And there wasn't a lot being said about her, except for it was very clear that she was young, beautiful, and married to this wealthy man. They had a beautiful house. We saw when Porsha was introduced to her husband on camera, Simon, and it was very basic, very whatever. So fast forward to now. Porsha is engaged to her quote unquote friend's husband because they got separated in January and the divorce is not finalized. Is that correct? They separated in December, January.
I don't know because like she's saying so Falyn's saying that she's finalizing her divorce. Mm-hmm. Porsha and Simon are saying they're already divorced.
Yeah, so that's why I was confused because Porsha, the original reports about Porsha and Simon from them was that they were already divorced. Falyn is saying no. I think that the blogs have dug it up and they're not actually truly divorced yet. I think it's like the case has been filed. Yeah. So Porsha says that, this is May 2021. Porsha says they met last month, they fell in love, and they're getting engaged, and that Falyn was never her friend. So let's break that down
as your friend on the show. She came on as your friend.
Right.
Falyn tells a different story, and not even just now. Like, she told a different story when she did an interview with Candy a while back. And basically said that she knew Porsha through Simon and Dennis. Like, Simon and Dennis.
By the way, Simon and Dennis are like best friends or something, or like super close associates.
Best friends, but I think they're in the same industry.
Okay, so it sounds like Simon and Porsha's ex-fiance / baby daddy have had some sort of business relationship friendship. So Falyn claims that the way that she met Porsha was through that friendship, and that they had their own friendship from there. So I think that for me, the main issue lies in the word friend. Okay. So for these reality TV shows, they have to call that girl her friend, because otherwise, how else are they going to introduce her into the cast? Like, it's weird to just say, hey, we just have this new person that came around, right? Everyone's always like, oh, this is my friend or somebody I knew, whatever. So it makes me wonder if they were truly friends, like hanging out together, like, but for the show, they were friends, or if they were more associates / co-workers. Because to me, a lot of these girls are co-workers, because you see that when the cameras are off, they don't hang together. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're essentially just working to be working, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, they're friends to be working. I'm sorry. So essentially, people like Kenya and Porsha, and I don't think they hang out outside of the show. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if it wasn't for the show, I wouldn't be around you or whatever. So for me, I think that's where the argument lies. They did dig up a picture of Porsha and Falyn and Shamia, which is Porsha's best friend, where she posted her or whatever, and saying, like, she didn't say they were friends, but I'm still like, okay, well, if they were hanging out for the show and Porsha thought she looked cute in the picture, she might just post the picture. We've both posted a picture with an associate before, and because we look cute, or because we're just hanging out, like, whatever. You've hung out with my friends that are not your friends and posted a picture of the overall group of people without it being like, this is my BFF type of thing, or this is my actual friend. Like, you don't even have their numbers. So it makes me wonder, like, to what level their friendship was. Like, what are your thoughts on it, though? Am I off base, or is it just completely wrong?
No, I mean, because, like, outside of this season, we never saw Falyn. We didn't know who Falyn was for real. Like, I had never known her name, know anything about her until this season. So I can kind of see where, you know, them saying, oh, she's a friend of Porsha's. I really and truly believe that Simon and Dennis knew each other, and then that's how they came to know each other. And for whatever reason, the producers decided to bring Falyn onto the show. And I mean, if she doesn't know anyone else, then yeah, they're gonna have to say, "Oh, she's Porsha's friend." That's
Porsha's friend, right?
I get
because
that,
right. If you want to believe that reality TV is real, then someone has to. She can't just be a cast member. They can't just be casting people to cast them. It has to be some sort of association to the people that are already on the show, because otherwise, they're creating scenarios, because they don't create scenarios. Of course, Ivy. Of course they don't.
Of course they don't.
So it's like, you have to pick a lane to me. If you believe that reality TV is real, then you have to believe that this is really Porsha's friend. If you're willing to accept that this shit is very much like produced, then you can come from the point of they're actual coworkers. And, you know, they may not know each other. They lie for the show. So let's get into
I didn't even get friend vibes from them on the show. Like,
no, it was just very much like,
they had knew each other and they had been hanging out.
No,
because it was like, wasn't that the first time Porsha had been to their home?
Yeah, I don't know if it was possibly the first time, but it was definitely her first time meeting him. If the show is real, it was her first time meeting her now fiance was on camera, but it seemed like it was everyone's first time at that girl's house. You know, it seemed like it was. And then even in like South Carolina, when they went to the Cynthia's bachelorette trip, Falyn was there for a hot second. Like, it was weird. Like, she was there and then she was just gone because apparently her kids or something like that, I think she said.
Well, did she come with him? Like, didn't Simon come with him because they had their own house?
I can't remember, but I just know she was there for a hot second. Like, it was like a hot second. And I think that trip was 2 episodes. And I think Falyn was only on that first episode at the very beginning. Yeah, it was very quick. So for me, it definitely didn't give me like not even BFF. It didn't even give me friend vibes. It gave me very much associate vibes or whatever. So for me, I guess I want to talk about, is this wrong or not? And I've, you know, discussed this with a few people or whatever. And like I said, for me, it falls just completely on whether or not you want to say that they're friends or not. Like, if this is your friend, girl, no, you cannot do this. Maybe 3-4 years down the road, but not this soon. Like, even if this is like if it's a friend, a true friend, it's a no. It's just a no for me, I think. I'm just trying to think of like, no, not even 3-4 years down the road. It's a no for me. That's like, I get it. Be happy. You can't help who you fall in love with, but like, you can also not get to know your friend's husband enough to find out that you like him, that y'all have a bond to fall in love. So you can help that. You know what I'm saying? To some extent, I guess. But like we said, I think we said in another episode, previous episode. I don't know if we ever actually released an episode about can you help who you fall in love with. I think it never came out. But in that episode, we both kind of says like, no, not really. But that's about once you get to know someone. Not if you don't get to know somebody, you can help falling in love with them. You can't just fall in love off. I'm not saying you can, but you don't typically just fall in love off someone's appearance. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if it's a friend, nah. If it's her associate or if it's her coworker, I do not love it. But given a year from now, or once the divorce is finalized and has been a year or something, and y'all feel like that's what y'all want to do, cool. Like, fine. But I take extreme issue in the fact that having been, and I mean just being very vulnerable with y'all, having been on the side of getting a divorce, and in the same year, my ex-husband getting remarried. I think I got a divorce. My divorce was finalized in January, and then he was remarried in August. I didn't even want to be with him. But it was just the fact of like, well, goddamn, did you have to move on? So it was hurtful. And it was like, it almost made you feel like, gosh, like, I know shit ain't right between us now, but like, did any of those years, I don't know how many years they put in, but did any of those years matter? Like, did any of that, like, was any of that important to you? For me, it's just like, there's no healing time. Like, you're good. Like, I was dating people too, but like, marriage was not on my mind. So for me, it was very much hurtful. So I look at it from that place of like, let it breathe a little bit. Let it breathe a little bit. But I want to know, like, how do you feel about it? Is there ever a time where it's okay? Like, at a point where it becomes like, oh, this is all right, it's cool?
I mean, again, I think it just goes back to what their relationship was. Mm-hmm. Like, if Porsha and Falyn were true friends, they had a, true friendship and relationship, then that's just not okay. Never will be okay. Mm-hmm. But if they're just co-workers, associates, hey, I know her, whatever, like, I mean, I think it's fair game. I mean, I don't think that there's really a time frame. Like, I don't think Porsha should wait. I mean, now granted, like if he's still married, and I mean, that's a little different. But at the same time, it's like if he's, finalizing, separated, decided he doesn't want that anymore, they're no longer together. I mean, I think it's fair game. Like, I don't think you can really put a time on it because it's like, who's to say, like, now is not your time to be with this person, or you may not get that opportunity again. It's just different things to consider. So, I mean, can I say that Portia's wrong? I don't know, because I don't know what her relationship with Falyn is like.
Right, that's the problem.
It was just so much. It's just so much coming out at one time. It's kind of like shock value. So it's just like, whoa, like, hold up, like, But I mean, hey, if he makes her happy, if she's truly in love with him, then I mean, I can't speak on,
Right. Do you think that it's wrong I know you've never been married, but just curious. Like when someone's separated during a marriage, I know people who are like absolutely no dating, like, no, I'm not doing that. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think it's okay to date in that in-between stage where it's like, we've decided we're not together, the divorce paperwork has been filed, and I'm not even talking about that separation that niggas be like, I'm separated from my wife, but they don't really be separated from their wife. I'm talking about like actually papers have been filed, action has been taken. Do you think it's okay for someone to date during that time period? Or do you think that should be kind of like an off limits, like winding up period for the relationship?
I mean, I think it's okay. I mean, okay. I don't see a problem with a person dating in that time frame. Cause it's like, what are you wrapping up? Like, what do you need additional time for? If you know you don't want to be with this person, then why should you put your life on hold to wait till the ink dries on this paperwork, right. Like on this legal document. Like, I mean, I think like go on with your life. If you choose to date, do that. I mean, I don't see a problem with it.
I agree with you, but I'll just be the devil's advocate here because I do agree with you. I dated while I was, separated or whatever. He definitely dated while we were separated. He dated way more than me. I mean, clearly. But even the thing with his like meeting his wife, like he won't even dating her. He met her and they got married pretty quickly. I don't know the exact time frame. I can't recall right now, but it was very quick within a few months. But during that time, I think part of his like coping, I don't want to speak for him, but I think part of his coping and his attempt to get over the hump of, the separation or the divorce, I guess you could say, because it hadn't been finalized, but to get over the hump of that, I think he used dating as a crutch, like other people putting his attention elsewhere or whatever, and you got to do what you got to do. But back to my devil's advocate point, or just kind of a legal point, or just what the law is, I guess, essentially supposed to be grounded in, is that separation period is supposed to be a sureness period. Like, before the courts are going to let us just end our marriage, they're going to make us take some time to make sure that during this period, we are sure it's no take backs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not about to have y'all waste the court's time because y'all decide that y'all want to y'all file for divorce on January 1st. And then we, give it to y'all by January 30th. And then by March 1st, y'all back together. And now we got to do the show. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think it's like one of those things where it's like, let's just make sure it's what it is. Like, you actually want to do this. So I could see an argument for the people who do feel very strongly about not dating, not doing anything during that time period. I think Quad, if you guys watch Married to Medicine, I think she felt that way. I know Phaedra from Real Housewives of Atlanta was like that way. Now, they say that. I don't know how, true they were really following that. But 6 months is what you need. I'm not going to say most states, but in Virginia, I think most of the surrounding states around here is 6 months if you do not have any kids together, and 1 year if you have kids together. So 6 months for someone that doesn't have kids together, that's not that long. Like, you can just start getting your ducks in a row and getting yourself prepped for the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you can be in the gym, get your shit together. But at the same time, I'm with you. Don't put your life on hold for somebody that you know you don't want to be with. Like
I feel like if you're dating other people, then that to me is like, you're sure you don't want to be with me.
Right. I don't agree with that though. And I only say that
I only say that how I'm gonna take it. So if I'm married, we're separated. You out here dating other people. To me, that's telling me, oh, you don't want to be with me. And at that point, I don't want to be with you. Whether I had reservations about working this out or not, at that point, I'm like, you really out here dating other people. So, go do what you're going to do. Yeah, we're going to sign this paperwork. It's done.
So I agree with you in that sense. But I can see, I would feel the same way. But I could be of the mindset, I very much, when my separation period came, I very much asked him, can we use this as a time to physically separate? You move out for 6 months, go sign a 6-month lease. Let's move apart for 6 months and make sure that this is not what we want. I mean, I didn't tell him to go date other people, and he didn't tell me to go date other people or anything like that. But I could see someone thinking like, well, let me just go out here and see if the grass is really greener. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it doesn't even have to be sex. It could just be, I'm just getting to know other people. I'm just trying to figure out what I want. Like, how does this look for me? Is the grass really greener? And I feel like if people handle separation more like that, then maybe there would not be so many marriages that ended or whatever. But, I see what you're saying though. I would definitely take it that way, but I could see someone being of the mindset of like, let me dip my toe in the pond for just a second and just see. They might find out it's great out here. But if they know what I know and what you know, the streets is not like, it's cool to be hanging out and stuff, but like, there's nothing. I'm not gonna say there's nothing out there, but the quality men or women are hard to come by. So it's like, sometimes I'd be thinking like, some of these people might still be married, but for the fact that, they gave it a chance or whatever. I definitely have a few people I know that are divorced that are just like, damn, you didn't tell me this was so hard. And I was like, it's pretty hard. Like, it's not easy out here. So that was my only point about that. But speaking of relationships that are kind of catching us off guard, we didn't talk about this one, but Miss Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are back together after just announcing on, I believe, April 15th that they were officially broken up, no longer engaged, and not moving forward with the relationship anymore. Now, if y'all don't know, like, her and A-Rod got engaged, I think maybe about 2 years ago, year and a half ago. I think it was before the pandemic.
I think they got married. I think they met 2018. They got engaged 2019.
Okay.
And the wedding was supposed to be last year.
Yeah, I think so. But the pandemic, like, whatever. So the rumor is that he got caught cheating. Y'all gotta stop cheating with these damn reality stars. He got caught cheating with some other reality star that's like this young, like, girl from one of the little Bravo E shows. She's like not one of the really well-known shows or whatever, but she's like a little white girl from one of the shows or whatever. Apparently she got caught cheating. So they announced like, oh, we're separating. And then like a week later, they're like, oh yeah, we're working it out. Then like 2 weeks later, it was like, yeah, it's done. So I was like, dang, like J-Lo's living up to this. I hate this reputation that she has. Like, she's a man eater and like whatever. I don't like that reputation because I feel like there's nothing wrong with saying I'm not taking your shit. Like, period. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like it should be put on the woman always. Sometimes, is there any onus to be put on the man for not being a good partner?
But that's the thing. It's like when women do it, there's a stigma placed on us. But men do it all the time. And what do people say about him? You know, what do people say about him? If I go out here
and if my relationship ends tonight and I go out here and start dating somebody by next week,
that's your business.
I'm gonna be every type of, she already had somebody, every type of hoe, every type of slut, she for the streets. If a man goes and does it, it's very much like, well, you know, that's how men get past relationships. That's what they do.
As if women don't get past relationships the same way.
Hello. I want some company too. Just because it's not the company of my ex, don't mean I want some companionship too.
And 9 times out of 10, when a woman leaves a relationship, we mentally and emotionally already left that relationship months, years ago. So by the time we leave, we're already over your ass, and we just looking to be with somebody else or whatever the case may be. We're just looking to get out there and start dating again. Exactly. We've already had that time because we're going to heal in the relationship unless it just like happens abruptly. But
see, I've never been in that situation, but I know that you have. You very much are the person that before you physically completely leave, you check all your boxes and make sure, like, I am actually done. So by the time you actually leave, you are really done. It's no get backs, no take backs. You're ready to go
or to enjoy your life. Whatever. Exactly.
Right. And so for me, I haven't never really quite been in that situation. Exactly, I'd say. Usually I can't recall for sure, and I don't want to think back on every relationship I've had, but I think I'm more so, it's usually an abrupt thing. It's usually like an event that's like the final straw, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So even after the final straw happens, I don't just sit and pretend, like, not even pretend, but I don't sit and let it fester. I'd be like, you gotta get the fuck out. So for me, or vice versa, whatever it may be.
Yeah, but it's also not like your relationship, like y'all are like perfect and good one day, and then out of nowhere it's over. Like there's always
I have had those I've had when I was much younger. I have had those, but not in my adult years, no. Yeah. But I have had those when I was younger where it was just like, I thought everything was good and then it was like, boom, it's not, or whatever. So, but back to my point was, okay, so over the weekend, I guess, can we go back to using Beniffer? Y'all remember back in early 2000s, they used to call J-Lo and Beniffer. They started dating back, I think, in the early 2000s, and it was a thing. I don't know if you remember, but it was like a big deal. They had dated back in like 2002, I think. They had met on the set of a movie or whatever, started dating. And it became like a huge thing in the media, like all the time, like always something. You know, the paparazzi back then was a little different because back then the paparazzi was real reckless. They was like in the car filming you like while you're riding on the road. Like I think since they put in some laws in place that said they can't do certain things, but crazy paparazzi at the height of their craziness or whatever. Back when we was wearing the Juicy Couture, like velour outfits, like so like that era, right? And they were together and they got engaged, and he had got her this really beautiful ring. It was like some crazy amount of carats or something.
It was like 6.
I think it was 6 carats.
It was something crazy.
And essentially, like, that happened, and then suddenly they announced that, like, they were separating to be, like, divorced. They needed to take a break or something like that, I think, because of the media attention. And then they eventually established that they were not going to be together at all anymore. And so over the weekend, they spent time alone together. I forgot what state it was. Somewhere random as hell.
Like Montana?
Yeah, somewhere like on a farm or some shit, probably. Like in the mountains or something. I don't know. But they spent time like in some little like off the grid type of situation, just the two of them. So it wasn't like they could even be like, oh, we had some friends and like whatever. Since then, he's been spotted like leaving her house. He's been spotted in her like SUV that she uses for like her car service or whatever, like with her driver. And so they're back together. And so for me, first thing that comes to my mind is, did y'all allow the media to pressure y'all into like the breakup? Because it never came out that I recall there ever being any cheating allegations. It never came out to there being like, we just don't get along. It just kind of was very much like, there's a lot of attention on us. This is too much on us. And then from there, you know, I guess they just decided to part ways or whatever. So I don't know. What do you think about it? Like, how do you feel about rekindling with an old boo? Like, it's been, girl, 17 years? I think they said something like that. It's been 16,
like
17 years. Girl, can you imagine 17, a whole entire teenager? ago
Yeah.
is when y'all dated. It makes me wonder, were y'all longing for each other? Did y'all keep in touch? Like, what did the last 17 years look like? Like, I am just like, wow.
Right. I think like their breakup was more media driven. Like, I don't think like they really wanted to break up. Like, I don't think that's what they really wanted. But it was just like they had so much media attention on them. They were like, all right, like, we can't keep doing this. Like, we're just too out there. So, like, let's just take a break. And then during that time period, they both moved on. They both had, other relationships, other children, things like that. And then it's like, okay, like, hey, boo, I see you. Like, I'm ready to see what's up now. Like, I had fun, but yeah, I can't stop thinking about
you. But you was it the whole time, right?
Exactly.
Like 20 years later.
Yeah, I wonder how that was. I really wonder how that went for them, though.
Yeah, like what does the conversation look like? Did you call her? Did you DM her?
Right.
Like,
did y'all bump into each other somewhere?
Yes. Like, we need to get the exclusive, J-Lo. If you're hearing the Be Unfiltered podcast, it's probably not, sis. We want the details. And I think it's cute. You know what I mean? I'm a huge love. Me too. I love love. I love to see people happy. So sometimes it'd be like, yes, that was it for them the whole time. So whatever it is they got going on, go off, sis. Do you? Ben, I'm not mad at you. She's beautiful. I double back too. I spin a block too. Like,
I was kind of hoping that her and Diddy would kind of get back together, though. Like, I mean, I loved her and Ben together, but I loved her and Diddy together too. Like, I thought like that would eventually become a thing again, but I
didn't. I never thought that. And I only say that because I felt like they used each other for the moment. Like, they were both relevant in their own right for the moment. It was like she used him for that hip hop edge that she needed at the time for her career, and he used her. She's a beautiful woman. Like, she's helping him get more publicity because she's J-Lo on her own. So I feel like for me, that was more of a mutual beneficial relationship. Not saying it started that way, but like that's kind of what it was. I don't know how much in love that was. And I think that she kind of, when the whole, I think it was like the Little Kim situation and the whole like court stuff with all of that, I think that became too hood for her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like that was not even for her personally, but for her image. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be the star of the Wedding Planner movie and then like you're out here dating the super hood nigga. Like, I don't foresee it's not palatable to the broad audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, for us, it's like, whatever. Yes, you can. You definitely can do that. But I think that for the broader audience, it was probably like, you're doing a lot. Like, yeah, no, this isn't good. So I think that would be cute, but I don't know how much of that was real. And I feel like Kim Porter is just the love of his life and that he just rest in peace. But I feel like he just fumbled the bag with that. And I think that like he needs to take time. He needs to just have fun. Like, if you're gonna date these young girls and have fun and do whatever, but don't get the women that are in your age range in the late 30s, the early 40s, and don't get those women because those women are looking for what I don't think he's prepared to give them, because I think he's actually like heartbroken and sad about Kim or whatever, and I think he knows he really fumbled the situation with her. But yeah, I could see that being a thing. But yeah, go off, Jennifer. I'm not mad. Like, I love like a
really fan of her and A-Rod anyway. Like, I don't know.
It was okay. It was very like not surprising. It was like very like, okay, I can see that. It was very much like, But go off, sis.
Yes.
Go off, sis.
I say, do whatever makes you happy. Fuck what
we are rooting for you, sis. Yes, exactly. Do whatever makes you happy. We are rooting for you. Do what these niggas do. Do it to them better. Do it twice. Do it upside down and all around, sis. We are rooting for you. Like, at the end of the day, you are our hero at this point. So I'm not even mad about it. Now I want to get into like an interesting topic that I was talking about with my family over the weekend. And I think did me and you talk about it over the weekend too? I can't remember, but
I think so.
Have y'all been hearing about? So this was first brought to my attention. Like, it's always been in my mind, but it hasn't been a issue that people have been talking about until as of the last few months. So I've always thought about, I know people in my life that say that they're making more on unemployment benefits with that bonus money, like the regular unemployment plus the bonus money. They're making more by not working than they are by going back into the workforce and trying to find a job again. So for them, there's no real benefit in rushing back into the office or whatever you may do, because they feel like, I'm getting more money this way, right? So that has always been back in my mind. I know a few people that have told me that, and it just made me feel really, really sad. It made me feel really thankful for my position in life, but also really sad. So I was watching, what's the one with Brian Gumble? Not Brian Gumble, Lord. Lester Holt. I said Brian Gumble. Brian Gumble has no news. Lester Holt, I was watching the evening news or whatever with him. And they were talking about how there's a hotel or restaurant. I think it's a hotel down in Atlantic City that is having issues with staffing their hotel. And they're like, we have hundreds of openings for jobs, but no one's coming in to apply. And so he was just like, essentially, like, if people don't apply and take these jobs, then I'm gonna have to cut back on my service. Like, I'm not gonna be able to, have as many rooms available because I don't have the housekeeping, I don't have the service people, I don't have the front desk people, whatever. And so he was like, people are just not applying, and they're saying that it's very, very closely tied to the fact that unemployment benefits are paying people more, a better living wage than actually physically going out here and working. So, what are your thoughts on this? Like, because I have a few things come to mind, but I want to know where do you stand on this? Like, what are your thoughts?
I see what people are saying. Like, yeah, they're getting more money by, not working and getting this unemployment check. But it's just like, okay, but are you getting benefits? Are you getting health benefits?
That was my first question.
And to me, it's like, if you can work, go out here and work. Mm-hmm. Like, essentially, because it's like, I look at it like, it's kind of like unemployment fraud in a sense, because it's like, you can physically go out here and work. You're just choosing not to because you get paid more to sit at home and do nothing. So it's just like, I get it. Like, and I think the pandemic has just ruined a lot of us. Like, people get to work from home, but it's just like this unemployment, this stimulus, all of this, it's just like, it's really ruining people. Like, people are not going to have any type of work ethic when they do go back to work, because it's like, I could have been home collecting this unemployment for free, not having to do no hard labor, not having to do this or do that. But it's just like, come on, like, you're going to end up paying this money back some way, somehow. Like, you end up getting penalized at the end of the day, because it's not going to go on forever. Like, they're going to stop this unemployment incentive or whatever they're adding on to it. It's going to stop at some point. And then what are you going to do? Everybody's going to be running back trying to get jobs, and then ain't nobody going to be hiring no more.
Right. Y'all going to be like, y'all going to be short. Y'all are going to be short.
Right. So it's kind of like, I get it. Like, you do what you got to do to feed your family or whatever. And if you're making more doing that, I understand. But at the same time, if you are physically able to go out here and work, go out here and work, because a lot of businesses are suffering because of it. It's like restaurants are suffering, hotels, a lot of different places are suffering because y'all out here collecting unemployment checks. And it's just like, okay, they got a family to feed too, and it's just like, I don't know.
No, I agree with you.
I'm just grateful I have a job and I don't have to collect unemployment, because I don't think that unemployment would help me.
That was going to be my point. It definitely would not help me. It would not do shit for me. I don't know if it might cover a car note or something. Maybe a little light bill or something. I don't not touching my rent. It ain't touching them student loans. I'm not really sure. But I will say this. My brother is on unemployment right now. He was laid off for his job. I think it's the third time since the pandemic started. He goes back at the end of the month, so I'm really happy for him. And I don't think his unemployment is the same as what he would be making, but he has been able to sustain his level of living to pay his bills, right? So I think the stimulus has probably been helping him out. So his thing is that he definitely wasn't pressed to apply for jobs. I was getting on him about it. But the reason why he wasn't pressed is because his job is still paying for his health insurance. So, like, he has to pay it back when he goes back to work, but, like, he really won't in a rush to get back. It won't like he was worried about benefits, because that's my thing. Every time he got laid off, I would start stressing. I'm like, oh, God, please don't let him get COVID and then be in a hospital because he smokes Newports. Chris. His ass smokes Newports. And I'd be like, please don't let him get this damn COVID and then be in a hospital. And then I'm out here trying to figure out how to help him pay his medical bills because he don't have health insurance. But each time they have offered him his benefits. So to me, that also was a sign that they intended to bring him back. That, like, they didn't want to let him go, but they intended to bring him back because You got to sign paperwork that says essentially like, we'll cover it while you're gone, but when you come back, you pay X amount of dollars per paycheck until the amount that we paid out for you is paid back or whatever. Mm-hmm. So to me, that was great. It says a lot about his employer. Like, I think that's good because, you know, a lot of these companies were just laying folks off and was like, to hell with it. You got to go. Mm-hmm. So I can see it from that standpoint too. Then I see folks out here that's living a life they never lived before.
Right.
Traveling, purchasing items they wouldn't purchase, doing things they wouldn't normally do. Hell, I'm not even mad. It's like this is what some people have been doing their whole life, getting the money from the government and living their best life. So it's like, if you have the opportunity to do it, I guess do it. I mean, you know, for me, it's very much like I was complaining about not getting stimulus checks. I get stimulus. I think we've had 2 or 3. I don't know how many we've had, but they never hit my account. So it never really registered with me at all. But I heard something about a 4th stimulus. So for me, it's like, I was complaining about that, but then I'm like, I'm so thankful that I'm not in a position where if I do get laid off, like that I have a job, because if I get unemployment, it's going to be a drop in the bucket. Literally, like they can keep it because it's pretty much not going to, what's going to save me not having to get a new, I mean, it's going to save my car note. And then like I said, like a cell phone bill, a couple of bills, but it's not going to do anything for like my real bills or whatever. So it's like, I mean, maybe the whole entire whatever you get might cover my rent. You know what I'm saying? Like, is what I'm guessing. So I don't even know. I don't know how it works. But yeah, for me, it was just very much like, it's very sad. It's very, very sad to see that that's like what's happening. And Joe Biden told y'all niggas to go back to work. Mm-hmm. He said y'all need to go carry your ass back to work because he gonna cut y'all off. He's gonna cut y'all off. Y'all
he's already said like, if you're rejecting suitable job offers, that unemployment is going to stop.
I'm coming
if you're getting
you.
Job offers
and they start investigating your ass. Exactly.
Yeah, and then my thing is like, okay, you're collecting unemployment this year, so what you going to do come tax time? You're not going to be able to file no taxes either. So it's like you collecting all this money, and then come tax time, you're going to be looking for a tax refund. You're not going to get one.
Ain't going to be one. Ain't no refund. Ain't going to be
like, you got your refund all year. Like...
You've been living your life all year. No refund. I just want to say shout out to my tax person. I got a refund this year, y'all. And glory to God. Glory. I have not gotten one in several years. So I'm just going to do this a little plug real quick for businesses. Y'all, write off every damn thing. Mm-hmm. He helped me really get a lot of write-offs for my business. I'm planning on getting Be Unfiltered established appropriately because I spend a significant amount of money on Be Unfiltered every year. I spent more on not true. That's not true. Probably spent as much as I spent on Be Unfiltered last year as I did on my event planning business, but only because my event planning business, like, it stopped, it essentially just stopped in March, so I didn't have a lot of the travel things or whatever, but I still had all the regular fees, like the software I use, all these things. So y'all, track all of that stuff, use it to your benefit as best you can. Don't commit tax fraud, but if you have legitimate write-offs and things that you can use, find you a good tax accountant and find you somebody that can really help you because y'all, I ain't get but $30 back from the state of Virginia, but guess what? It's better than owing them. Okay, it's better than, it's like, let me tell y'all,
I ain't gonna talk about mine because
yes,
that's why I need to start a business this year so I can write some shit off because this ain't. I'm tired of
it's a lot. It's a whole lot. And I was talking to somebody that was talking about withdrawing from their 401k, and I was like, don't do that because I said you get that 20% tax. I said when it comes tax time, I said so
because they do not tax your 401k, and you have to pay that back come tax time.
Well, right. When they pay it out to you, they don't tax it. So they tax it, I think, when it goes in, but then, no, they don't tax it when it goes in. But then when it comes out, they don't take it off. They give you all your money, but at tax time is when they actually
that's
tax
what I'm saying.
So, yeah. So just make sure y'all don't be out here doing nothing crazy. But with that being said, y'all take your asses back to work because while there's a labor shortage, we got a lot of other shortages in America right now too. So let's speak on it.
That's probably why we got these chicken shortages and everything else.
So it is a supply chain issue. So y'all know there's like a different shortages. One of the ones is chicken. I didn't even know it was a problem. Y'all, I don't know where I be living at. I don't know I guess I don't ever sit down and take enough moments to just consume things. I'm very much always in fast-paced mode. So I didn't realize it was a chicken shortage until Justin was like, yeah, Bojangles didn't have no chicken supremes or something because they couldn't get the chicken breast or something like that.
But it's like they're the only place I know that is having a chicken shortage. Like
maybe they're the only place that uses real chicken.
Come on now, we know Chick-fil-A use real chicken. They ain't got no chicken shortage.
Okay, I'll give well, I know for sure Chick-fil-A does, But that's true. With Chick-fil-A,
well, none of the ones I've been to have had it, but I haven't either.
I haven't been to no fresh. Damn, I ain't.
But it's like, why you short on chicken supremos, not the other chicken?
I guess it's the fillet, the breast. Maybe they're in higher demand. I don't know, but we know that Burger King still got 20 nuggets for a damn $1. Burger King got some 20 nuggets for $1. Them deer ankles for $24. No wonder they don't have a shortage because y'all's not feeding us chicken.
Right.
So for me, whatever fast food restaurant's got a shortage right now, that's where I'll continue to go after the pandemic. If you don't have a shortage right now and you're finding chicken somewhere, it's a problem. Now, I will say we cannot put Chick-fil-A in the same box as the rest of these places because God ordained Chick-fil-A. So he's gonna provide for Chick-fil-A in the shortage. God is going to provide because he's going to look out for Chick-fil-A.
They got overflow of chicken.
They have overflow. Their cup runneth over because that is God. That is God behind that. Okay, that is Jesus chicken. It's different. Now the other chicken, I don't really know what y'all be on. So since Bojangles has a shortage right now, I will continue to patronize Bojangles beyond that. But did y'all hear about Chick-fil-A having the sauce shortage?
No.
Like they're saying, so they're limiting sauces to 1 or 2 sauces, depending on the Chick-fil-A. You know, they're all different, or they're independently owned. Depending on the one you go to, they're limiting you to 1 or 2 sauces per like item or whatever, which they already did on the app.
Like all types of sauces, or a particular.
From what I know, they just said all types of sauces. So I don't know if it's that like they're assuming that if they let you get all the buffalo sauce, since the Chick-fil-A sauce is running low, that then everybody, like, they'll let you, but you know what I'm saying? I guess they're trying to control the situation overall, because you'll be like, okay, well, give me 3 Chick-fil-A sauces, and they're like, okay, we only can give you 1.
And they're probably the only fast food restaurant that don't make you pay for extra sauce either.
Listen, or give you a damn attitude about it. Like, they don't give you more sauce than what you need. I give it back sometimes, because I'm like, I'm not even like, I don't even need all of this sauce or whatever. So there's that shortage, which I'm just like, what does this mean? But this
we don't need
gas shortage.
No way.
We don't. Chicken, quote unquote chicken.
Right.
This gas shortage is, I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired. Okay, so you tell us about your experience, because you had an experience. I have nothing to give to this because I would not participate. So you tell me your situation.
Okay, so I first heard of this gas shortage, quote unquote, Monday. So I was traveling Monday, and I was on the phone with my friend, and she was just telling me, like, you heard about this gas shortage? I was like, no, what gas shortage? I'm thinking it's like on another part of the United States or something, not knowing that it's the East Coast or whatever. I was like, no, I haven't heard about no gas shortage or whatever. I'm like, I just came from the gas station. I haven't had any issues, like gas prices. I mean, they was already high, so I was like,
right. Well, they sky high.
Yeah, so, like, I was like, no, I haven't heard about it. So I was scrolling on CNN or something, and I saw them talking about a gas shortage. I was like, oh, it must not be affecting this area, because all the gas stations are up and running, operating in normal conditions. Ain't nobody, hoarding gas. Ain't no long lines to get gas. The gas prices haven't jumped up just yet, but I know they were mentioning that. So I get home, it's probably like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I pass like 3 or 4 gas stations on my way home. They're all like roped off, like the gas pumps are like roped off. I said, oh, this shit must be real or whatever. So yesterday morning, I get a call, and they were like, it's a gas shortage. Like, if you don't have gas, you need to go out and fill your tank up. And I'm like, what? I'm like, well, I got half a tank. I'm not going nowhere this week. I'm not really worried about it. They was like, no, you need to go to the gas station. Okay. So I find this gas station. I found one gas station. There was a long line to get in. I was like, I ain't fooling with that one. So I would drive down a little bit more, go to this other gas station. Y'all, the line was ridiculous. I mean, it was organized, so I was proud about that. I was happy about that. But it took me 45 minutes to get gas. When I get up there to get gas, they only had 93 premium available. And it was $3.89 a gallon. I had a half a tank. It was $30 to fill my tank up from a half a tank. It took me $30 to fill up on E. So I was like, are you serious?
You got a nice car. That's good. You got a good tank.
Well, it's probably like a little bit more than 30. But
that's what you're saying, but yeah.
Like, it don't take me that much more to fill up on empty. So it's like $30 to fill up from half a tank. And I wasn't even on half. Like, I was a little bit above half. And it was like $30. I was like, this is ridiculous. People were out there filling up gas cans. And I was like, y'all see these long lines. Like, fill up your car and go.
And
like,
keep it
what are you
moving.
filling up the gas cans for? What are they gonna do? I'm like, y'all are creating a gas shortage. Like, it's
because America
like
is ghetto. We don't know how to do nothing. They said don't panic, and what do we do?
Right,
Panic.
and they said don't panic. They said don't hoard gas. They said all this, and what did y'all go out here and do?
Exactly what they said don't do. Like exactly what they said don't do. So I will say my experience. Okay, so first let's talk about the background of what happened. So the Colonial Pipeline was hacked. It had a cyber attack against it. Was it Friday, Saturday maybe Wednesday, Thursday last week, whatever. So it's been like a week. So it's been offline. Within the same day that I found out about the shortage, within 24 hours of me finding out about the potential shortage and the solution, I didn't worry because I realized something was maybe wrong when I was in Martinsville on Sunday. And we went to this little country-ass gas station and it was packed. And I was like, who the hell it was like right the street from your parents' house, like when you're driving towards Danville. Yeah. It was like some little ride, we had drove up maybe 10 miles up the road. And I was like, why is this packed? So I was like, oh, let's just go to the Sheets. The Sheets when you about to turn on 360 or whatever. Mm-hmm. I was like, let's go to the Sheets right there or whatever. I was like, so we got there. It was cool. It was fine. But something about the Martinsville situation just still didn't sit right with me. So we got the gas or whatever, and we went on about our business. And then the next day, again, Lester Holt's ass. By the way, this is Justin's show. He's a grandfather. So we watch the nightly news at 7 o'clock every night because he's a freaking grandfather. So Lester Holt was like, it's a gas shortage. Do not panic. He explained what happened. He said the pipeline is expected to be back online by Friday or Saturday, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's nothing to panic about. Whatever. So I only had a quarter of a tank in my car, but I don't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, it's cool. Like, I don't have to go to work. I had a doctor's appointment today, but like, that's really up the street. It's 15 minutes up the street. It was enough gas that I'll be okay for the weekend, right? Mm-hmm. But, again, we said we're supposed to be going out of town this weekend. So I was like, let me just go see what these gas stations are looking like or whatever. Let me tell you something. I went to the Wawa near my house and it was wrapped around the building and then off the exit that you get off of. I said, this is not in my ministry. This is not a part of my ministry. I will not do it. I don't have a lot of gas. I put on Instagram, don't invite me if it's further than this. I don't know how much this is going to get me, but if it's further than that, then I'm not going to see you. I even told you, we may not be able to make it if we can't find any gas because I don't do that. So to me, y'all are ghetto. I'm tired of y'all. They said don't panic. It's gas. It's enough gas for us, for all of us. And this is a East Coast situation. Mm-hmm. This is not a nationwide situation. It's a East Coast. This is the Colonial Pipeline is the East Coast. It's up and down the East Coast. So you don't have to worry. Like there's gas. It's being like transported from other parts of America here. And as of today, a few hours ago, the pipeline is back online. Mm-hmm. And the only thing is that Lester did say, he said that it only runs 5 miles per hour through the pipes. So it'll take a long time for those big, huge containers to fill back up. So we'll still fill it for a little bit longer, but it's going to get better. Like today, it's not going to be better, but by tomorrow, it's going to get a little better. By this time next week, we're going to be fine, guys. Why do y'all do this? Like, if the world is ending, where are you driving to? I'm just, where the hell are you driving to?
Where are you going?
They're not going anywhere. They don't have anywhere to go. So y'all get on my damn nerves.
And if there's a gas shortage, like just sit your ass at home. You don't need to go anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Because as much as I want to be there for Kristen's thing, if there's a gas shortage, I can't make gas come into my car. And so, did you also hear about the rental car shortage?
No, but I remember I think you were telling me about it.
Yes. Okay.
I haven't heard about that.
So initially when we were looking to go to Charlotte, we were like, oh, we're going to fly or whatever. Now, for some reason, we looked up a rental. Why did we look up a rental? We had looked up rentals because we were thinking about driving to South Carolina for a family event. And I was like, I'm tired of taking my car on the road all the time. Like every time we go on a road trip, we take my car. My car is newer. It's bigger. I have an SUV. It's like more comfortable or whatever. His car was cool or whatever, but it was small. I'm like a big car person. I don't like sitting low to the ground. So if I'm driving, I want to sit up high, all of that. So he ends up buying a new car. So it ended up being a moot point. But we were looking and he was like, I can't find out. No, that's not what happened. The first time we looked for rentals for something else. And so he was like, there's no rental cars. And I was like, what? So then a couple of weeks later, I saw somebody else post that they were stranded in Charlotte because their flight kept getting delayed because of storms. They wanted to drive from Charlotte home just to hurry up and get home. And they're like, there's no rental cars available. So then like later on that week, that's when we looked up the South Carolina trip. And he was like, yeah, like, so apparently there's a rental car shortage or whatever. So apparently, because of travel being the way that it is right now, where people are not really doing a whole lot of international travel, mostly domestic travel, they're not trying to drive their cars. So in turn, they're renting vehicles to put their vehicles on the road to do these road trips or whatever. That's how people are traveling this summer. So they're expecting it to last at least through the summer, if not through the end of the year or whatever. So there's a rental car shortage. They're hard to come by because we were going to fly to Charlotte initially. And then when we started seeing the prices, we were like, oh, it's probably cheaper to drive. But let me tell y'all something, because we were like, okay, we're still going to have to rent a car when we get there. But let me tell y'all something. With the price of gas, we probably would have been better off for real just flying. I'm still thinking about it right now. The flights were like $258 today. And I was just kind of like, should we just both pay the $258 and just fly? But then I'm like, okay, well, then when we get there, if it ain't no rentals, what we going to do? I don't want Uber to have some super high surcharge on it because the gas prices.
They probably are.
And they probably will. So I was just like, okay, I don't want the headache. I'll just, we'll just drive or whatever. And so, cool. It's cool. And I can drive my car on this trip because now that he has a new car, he can drive his car and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm like, cool, we can switch back and forth or whatever. But it's interesting how things are happening as the world opens back up. It's interesting is the only word.
People just don't know how to act. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's just too many shortages for me. Like,
it is
God, if you coming back, like, just let us know.
Many.
Like, this is too bad.
Just give me the signal, God. Just give me the word. Give me a hootie hoo, the bat signal, something. Let me know.
It's just so much.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Now, what's going to happen next, y'all, is that I want to talk about the Joe Budden podcast, but Ivy does not listen. So while I think I could explain to her the situation, it takes someone who has listened to the podcast to understand the fucked upness that I want to talk about the situation. So I'm going to go to a separate conversation that I'm going to have with Justin about this because he was the person that put me onto the podcast, and him and I have been going head to head about this topic for months now. Not to say, I'm smarter than him or anything, but I predicted this shit back in December. I want to let y'all know that energy is real. And I picked up on the energy of this a long time ago. There are so many people who told me, like, I didn't see any of the signs that you saw. You're wrong. I picked up on this a long time ago. So I don't want to go too much in detail into that. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to a separate conversation with Justin and I, and then it'll pick back up with a conversation with Ivy and I where we're going to get more into the topics that we want to talk about today.
All right.
Okay, Ivy, we're back. So, I thought this was an interesting topic. I came across this topic a few months ago, and I'll just get right to it. Is it possible to be best friends with an ex? Do you want me to talk about where this came from? Or do you want to
I saw it. Yeah, I read it.
So you don't think I should give them any background about it?
I mean, yeah, you can, but I mean...
Okay, so just real quick. Erykah Badu and Andre 3000, who have had a child together, had a relationship, are best friends. They say that this is like one of their closest friends. They love this person. They care deeply about this person, and that it's strictly platonic, that they once had what they had, that is no longer a thing, and now the friendship is the basis of their current relationship. Mm-hmm. So I want to go to you because I think we have different opinions about this.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great that they're able to coexist in that manner. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I personally could be best friends with an ex. Like, I'm cordial with most of my exes, except this last one.
Y'all can get there, though.
But for the most part, I really hope we do. But for the most part, I'm cordial with all my exes. Like, I don't still, like, communicate with them or anything like that. But if I see them, I can speak, I can hug, I can, do whatever. I just don't think that I could be best friends with an ex. I just don't think I could do it. I mean, there's nothing against it. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think that I could do it. And not to say because I still have feelings for this person or not. But I just think there's just boundaries I don't want to cross. And I think that's just one, because, like, I get in a relationship, they get in a relationship, and then, it's just too much to explain to your partner.
Right. What does that look like?
Exactly. So, I mean, unless you have an understanding partner and things like that, all for it. But I don't think I could do that. But, I mean...
I completely agree. I think that it's about your personal level of comfort. Yeah. Now, for me, I come from a different place. When I'm in a relationship with you, like the relationship, we are best friends. Like we are. I ain't never been in a relationship where that's not like my homie, like for real. Like all shit aside, we talk about friend stuff, but we also talk about relationship stuff. I want to do everything with you, and not because I want to be the naggy ass girlfriend, but because we genuinely have a lot in common. We really like each other. All of that. So for me, yes, I think it's possible. Best friends, maybe not. Now, I am decent. I won't say close friends, but I'm decent friends with most of my exes. I sent you a little post today that was pretty funny about that. And it's like, I don't have a single ex that I'm not at least friends with on one social media app that I'm not at least cordial with. Like, I don't have that. Like, I'll speak to all of them. Like, the past is the past. I healed past that. Now, there is a time period that has to exist before that can happen. But like me, nah, I'm good. Like, you can watch this glow up. You can watch this glow up. Like, cool. If that's what you want to do, you can see me move on and be happier, and you fumbled, and that's fine. You deal with it. But I actually had one of my exes hit me up recently, and he was like, hey, what's up? Checking on you. No future shit. And it was funny because for a long time, the friendship there was that lingering feeling. And it feels so good to have that it's just friendship now. Like, we're not doing no extra shit. It's just strictly like friendship. Like, we're not doing anything extra. We're not doing anything different, right? We're just enjoying ourselves. Like, being cool. Hey, what's up? But with that being said, to get to a more recent example, my ex-husband is a good friend of mine. I thought about it when I came across this topic, and I met him when I was 20. I am 34 today. This person has been in my life for 14 years. That is almost half of my life. So I've always known him as long as half the time I've been alive, right? So if the friendship was real, which I thought it was, and I think that what he thought it was, it's not easy to just let go of that sort of connection with somebody if it was a real connection, right? So for me and him, it's very platonic, but he's still my friend. And there are certain things that I'm going to go to him about for advice. He is a very reasonable person. I am very irrational. He's very rational. So sometimes when I'm dealing with some stuff that's like, I guess sometimes when I'm dealing with something that's like, who else would be a good, or somebody who knows all the background of me, like they know how I react in all the gamut of situations, I'll go to him and be like, look, this is what's going on. Am I being irrational? Or, hey, I need some advice on this. He's very smart. When it comes to money decisions, like if I have one that I'm like, I want to run past somebody, he's somebody that I would run it past. Like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, Does it sound smart to you? And he knows how I spend money. He knows how I like to spend. He's like, no, yes, whatever. But it's cool. Like, it's not it's no feelings of like me, like, oh, let's get back together. Or he thinks like, it's not like that. But I think that the biggest part for me is that the romantic feelings, they got to be gone. So I think that there needs to be a cooling off period. I use so many legal phrases when I talk to y'all. When I said winding up, that's a legal phrase. Cooling off is a legal phrase from law school. But a cooling off period, essentially, like, we don't go from breakup to friendship. We got to have some time apart to like get past it. You know what I'm saying? Because the romantic feelings have to be done. You know what I'm saying? And once we're at that point, then yes, we can explore friendship. But I think the biggest thing is to be honest with yourself as to how does that friendship look in a new relationship. One of the things that I talked about with my ex-husband was, should I get into a relationship? How does that look for our friendship? Because he came back into, like, we completely disassociated ourselves with each other. There was nothing. And he came back into my life when I was going through a really hard time emotionally. He was very supportive, just kind or whatever. So for me, it's like, he was like, I was just like very much like, this is somebody that was there for me during a difficult time. I'm not going to cut them off. And not that we talk on a regular basis or anything, you know what I'm saying? It's just here and there. But I'm not going to cut them off solely because I get into a new relationship. So for me, one of the important things is that when someone came into my life, to let them know, hey, I have this friendship with my ex. It's platonic. We're not hanging out, kikiing. We're not texting all times of night. We're very respectful on that level. We don't do the most. Like, it's none of that. Like, we're not hanging out, trying to go on vacation together. None of that shit. But we are cool. We run things past each other here and there, whatever. So for me, it's very much, you have to set the new partner's expectation from the beginning. You cannot spring that on them. I think that's something that when you start getting a little bit deeper in with somebody, you got to let them know, like, hey, not even by the way, but hey, I'm letting you know I have this relationship with the person that I used to date. And if it matters to you, if you're not comfortable with it, then you should move on. If you truly want that friendship to go on. Now, me, I haven't had to have that conversation with anyone because I had a friendship with my ex-husband prior to when Justin and I were together the first time. It was a toxic relationship, but he knew we talked. It was a hurtful relationship, but he knew that we had like a communication. Now we're in a place of like, hey, what's up? Hey, I got a question for you. What do you think about this? Whatever. So there's that. So I didn't have to have that discussion with Justin, but I did make it clear that while you were gone, when you left me during a really difficult time in my life, this person was there for me. And I'm not cutting this person out of my life just because you came back around. If you can't handle that, then I'm sorry. But I'm respectful with that. I don't text him back crazy times of night. We don't pick up the phone and just be talking, and it ain't no secretive stuff, whatever. It's very much like, cool. So while best friend might be a reach, I think friendship is definitely there. And I just don't have an ex that I'm not cool with. Like, my relationships are typically built in being like friends with somebody. I even told Justin the other day, I was like, am I a nigga? Because like, is that what it is? That like, y'all look at me as one of your homies? Like, I like the shit that your friends like. And so therefore it's easy. Like, and I just happen to be not only just a cool girl, but like, oh, I think I love her too. So I'm like, is that what it is? And he was just like, whatever, Brittany. But I think that might be what it is. Is that like, I like nigga stuff? Like, am I a man on the low or something? Like, I don't know. Or do I like manly things, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. But for me, I think it's possible. I don't think it has to be a dead, like, absolutely not. But I see what you're saying. It's like you're more so like, we'll keep it cordial. If I see you, I'm going to speak, but it ain't no need for none of the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think there's
I feel it. Especially with you, I think that you give people their chance to do right by you. And if they don't, then it's like, well, what I need you in my life for anymore?
Exactly.
And you're like very much like, you give people a chance to allow for that space to do right. And I'm trying to think of a better word for it. Is that it goes back to by the time you're done, and even friendship's out of the question for you.
Exactly. Because by the time I'm done, like, I'm over you as a person.
Right.
Like,
as a whole person.
I can't even look at you the same in that same manner because it's like, I gave too many chances, too many opportunities to do the right thing. You chose not to do it. So for me, you didn't respect me.
Okay. I think that's a great point. It comes down to respect for you. Okay, so I see that for sure. It's like, and for you, it's more so like, I'm gonna let that hurt go for myself, not because I think you deserve it, but because I'm not gonna hold into that anger and that frustration because I'm trying to be a whole person. Like, I'm trying to do better myself. So exactly. I get what you're saying. I think that for me, I'm way too forgiving. When you're done, it's a wrap. For me, I'd be like, oh, I'll give you another chance. Like, but by the way, like I said last episode, I ain't got that in me no more. But I have in the past been very forgiving of people. So I'm always just like, oh, well, maybe they were whatever. So it's a fault and it's a good thing. Cause it's like, yeah, I've had exes hit me up and I'm definitely like, I don't really have a lot to say to you, but like, I'm not mad. But then I have ones that I'm like kind of cool with. And I'd be like trying to give them relationship advice, or trying to help them out however I can. I'm not the smartest person. I don't have the most, life experience, but I definitely like will look out for people. Cause at one point there was a bond there. So like, I don't play you, but I ain't gonna go as far as being your best friend.
Yeah, like, I think being a best friend is a reach. I mean, but I guess it just depends on who you are as a person, right? Because I mean, like, you just made me Andre 3000
and Erykah Badu are like probably cool as shit. They probably all about the vibes. And they have a kid together, right? And they have a kid together. To me, that is dope as hell. If y'all have a kid together and y'all can have that relationship, to me, that is where the best friend, like if I'm gonna be friends with you, I want to be best friends with you because we got a kid together. We might as well have a good time raising this kid together. Yeah. So that's why I say that I don't think you and your last partner will ever necessarily be BFFs, but I do hope for you that y'all get to the point where there's a friendship, because like Milan would be so happy about that. Like I think that would be great. Like she would be happy to just see y'all like coexisting peacefully, and y'all can do things like maybe one day it can be a trip for Milan and both y'all can bring your partner. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, where it's like, it's just like, it's about our daughter. It's not about, or joint birthday parties or graduation parties. It's stuff like that where it's like, I want that for y'all because I think Milan deserves to see that. And I don't think that y'all will never be able to get there. Like I put that energy over it because I feel like y'all can get there. It's just the cooling off period. Y'all are still in the cooling off period. Yeah,
we are. And we're in a tough space right now. But I mean, I hope eventually we can get to that place where we can. I mean, because it'll just, make Milan so much happier. It'll make, raising her so much easier. Versus, what we're
being on two different pages all the time.
Exactly. So it's just like, I just hope and pray like we can get to that level. And I mean, I'm not saying like, I don't think we will. I think it's just going to take some more time.
Yeah, y'all still need that cooling off period.
Yeah, like I said. It's still kind of fresh. And
it's still very fresh.
I'm understanding of that. It's just like, okay, like, but at some point we got to speed it up because, like we can't continue to parent in this way. So, I mean, I think it'll get to that point. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but it's like, I'm also like, all right, come on, like get it together. It ain't going to take this long, so.
Right. Y'all will get there. So, the last topic I wanted to cover, which is interesting because we talk a lot about like feminism, the feminist movement, all of that stuff. And this just really was surprising to me. I saw a tweet that said, in the feminist ideal world, it's all about gender equality. Chivalry should not be expected. No man has to give up his seat or be expected to open the door for a woman. She can stand up the entire time and open her doors. How's that for progress, ladies? So essentially, this young woman is saying, she's a self-proclaimed feminist, I believe. She's saying that if we want equality, then we want equality. Like let's stand on that. Stand 10 toes down on equality. So she's saying that all the chivalry, the opening the door, the pleasantries that come along with that we are taught as children and as young adults that you are supposed to extend to a woman based off of her sex should be dead, because if we want equality, then why do I have to do those things, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious, like, where do you stand on that?
Okay, so I feel two ways about this. I don't necessarily expect for a man to open doors for me, things like that. And when I say a man, I'm speaking of a man whom I have no relationship with. If I'm just walking in a store, I don't expect the man that's in front of me or behind me to hold the door open for me. I don't expect that. But I do expect that if I'm in a relationship with you, or we have some sort of relationship, like whether it be my dad, my brother, my partner, like I do expect those things, because for me, it's just, okay, I respect you as a person and let me open this door for you. I don't want you to, I don't want you to have to strain to open this door. I don't want you to have to do this, da, 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 da. Right. So I feel it that way. I feel like on a more personal level that I do expect those type of things from a man. But if I don't know you, no, I don't expect that from you. I mean, that's just because it's like, okay, like, I don't know you, you don't know me. Like, if you choose to do that, great. I'm going to thank you, offer my gratitude. But if you don't do it, it's not like I'm going to look at you sometimes like he hate women, or damn, like you rude. I'm not going to look at it that way. Mm-hmm. But I think for me, I was just raised where the men in my family were very, what's the word? Chivalrous or whatever. So they would open doors for the women. They would give up their seat for a woman. So for me, that's just how I was raised. So I look at it as like, okay, if you can't do those things for me, then what does that say about you as a man? And what does that say about me, as your partner or whatever? Because I was in a relationship where he wasn't opening doors. He wasn't opening car doors and things like that. So it kind of took me aback, because it's like, okay, like, you can't open the door for me. Like, you can't do simple tasks. It showed me like, I don't know, it's just, for me, it just shows me that you care. It shows me that you respect me. That's what it is to me. But I don't know. Like, I feel
I think you did a good job of making the points that I was gonna make. To me, it's more about the personal relationship than it is about the in-person relationship. Like if it's a stranger, matter of fact, don't hold the door for me. Leave me alone.
That means I gotta run to
exactly. Like just leave me alone. Like leave me alone. Like Justin jokes all the time because he's like, well, I'm not ever worried about you cheating on me because you don't even like if men even look at you, I will literally be like, what the fuck? And he'd be like, what is wrong with you? And I'd be like, I don't even like niggas to look at me. Like, I do not. I'm like, he'd be like, I don't even worry about that. Like, he's like, you don't even give men a centimeter to even allow themselves. I'm like, no, I don't. And it's not because of my relationship. I just don't I don't want to be bothered. Like, do not want to be bothered ass bitch. Like, that is me. And so I don't need you to hold the door. I don't need you to tell me I look pretty. I don't need you to tell me to smile. I don't need none of that. I don't need you to none of that. I don't need you to walk on the right side of the street. If you don't know me, leave me the hell alone in every way possible. I don't want to be bothered. Now, when it comes to personal relationships, like I struggle there, but I say that because I am like independent to a fault. Like I get a little agitated. Like one time this guy tried to open the door for me and I literally just almost lost my fucking mind because he was doing a lot in the moment, but I think he was just trying to show me he was a gentleman. He like grabs the door, tries to open the door, and I'm like at the door before him. Mm-hmm. And like the way he like reaches over me to like grab the door, try to open, and damn near knocks me out. And it was like, sir,
I'm doing too much.
Yeah, calm down. Like I get that. If I didn't think you were a certain level of a man, we would not be on this date right now. Mm-hmm. So like that is not going to be the end all be all for me. I'm not that person. I'm not the oh my god, girl, y'all. He didn't open the door for me. This is over now. Especially if I'm at the door first. Now, if you're there first and you stand there waiting for me to open the door for you, I'll be like, nigga. But if it's like a situation where I arrive there first, like whatever, I'm not tripping off of that. So like, I even get a little awkward. Like I remember going on a date years ago. Like I was young, and this guy was like, "Don't get out the car yet," and like walks around. Sorry, you're doing a fucking lot. Like stop it. And so I think a lot of women would be like, "Oh, that's so romantic," but you know me. I don't be finding stuff like that. I'd be like, this is whack. Like, stop it. So for me, it's about like, there's a level. Like, you can do it, but don't overdo it. Like, don't go out of your way to be super extra. Like, if we're walking back from dinner and you walk over and you open my car door for me, great. That's very sweet. But I ain't really never had no man that do that kind of stuff for real. Like, I don't really, you know what? Y'all men in my life, y'all are lacking. Because are they lacking? Is that normal? Is that like a thing? Because okay, yeah, I don't. But I think it's because of me. I'd be like, I'm good. I got it. Like I'm very much I got it. Like I'm. So for me, it's like it's nice to have that, but it's not a requirement for me. Definitely don't want it from strangers. When it comes to people that I know, if I'm cool with you, like I'm cool with it, it's cool. You don't have to go out your way to do it. It's not going to make me judge you differently as a man. There are other things that I think are man things to do that will make me look at you differently as a man. But I don't think that being a feminist means that you can't see it both ways. Like, but at the same time, she makes a point. Equality is equality. Like, why can't I hold the door for you? Why can't I pull out your chair? Why can't I, open your door? Why can't I bring you flowers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do I not have to do that? So for me, but I very much move like that. I move like, you bought me flowers to the date or whatever. So the next time we hang out, I'm going to do something for you. I'm not going to bring flowers, but it might be like a little thoughtful something. But I'm very much like I like to do that. Like I like it to be equal. And not because like I think women are equal to men or whatever. It's more so just like because if you show me you care about me, I'm going to show you that I care about you. Right. So I get it. I agree with you. I think you summed it up pretty well. It's like, if my brother does it or something like that, or if my brother doesn't get up out the chair for me, I'm like, get your ass up. Yeah. But like, I don't expect it from a random stranger. Now, if I'm pregnant, that's a different thing. I hate to see older women or older men or pregnant women like on a public transportation system or something, and they let them stand up when they're like pregnant, and it's like we're on the metro and you're clearly sitting down, not allowing that woman to sit down. I mean, you're standing up, that woman's standing up, and you're not allowing her to sit down. So for me, I do date men that recognize those scenarios.
Right.
Like that is like a baseline. So for me, if I see you if we're sitting next to each other and you don't see it, you see a pregnant lady and it's a packed subway and you don't get up and say, hey, you can have my seat. Nah, I'm not gonna say nothing to you on the train, but I'm gonna be like, so you didn't see that? Or if you see an older person and you're like, nah, I'm not gonna get up. But I also think we were raised in the country. So it's kind of like a different lifestyle. I don't know that somebody raised like in New York City would look at it as like, oh, I need to get up for an older person, or I need to get up for a pregnant lady, because it's like there, it's just like you get it how you live. It's just part of the lifestyle. Like you ain't get on the train in time, you ain't on the train. So I think it does have something to do with about how you're raised. But I ain't gonna say that I'm not owed it at all, and I'm not gonna say that it's not welcome. But it's not necessarily like a deal breaker. Like if you don't open the door for me every time. I've seen women literally like stop at a door and won't touch it until the man walks up to like do it. I don't know if it's her or if it's him.
Right.
But we at this damn door. Let's get in a restaurant. It's
exactly,
cold or it's hot. Like, let's not make it extra. So for me, it's like, it's nice when the man's like, oh, I got that. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah. But it's like, don't go out your way to be like, this nigga reached all over me. Sir, you almost knocked me the fuck out with the door.
Like, just do it naturally. Like, don't try and go out your way and do it. Because then it's like, okay, you're doing too much now. But it's like, you can tell when someone is used to doing it and who does it naturally versus someone who's trying to impress you. Don't do it to try to impress me. Do it because you genuinely want to do it. But I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me either, because I mean, I dated someone who wasn't that type of person, it kind of bothered me. But then it's like, okay, like this is just who he is. Like either you gonna deal with it or you not. And I was just like, it's really not that big of a deal. But it's just like also like I'm not used to that, so I had to get used to it. But it was like, okay, like. But at some point, like you had to do a little bit. You had to do something like show me
some sort of like. Right. Yeah. And so that's it for me. I think that in general, when I say the guys I date don't do those things, it's because I've been like, I got it. Like, for instance, they'd go out their way to hold the door for me, even though their hands are mad full and I have my purse. And it's like, I got it. Like, I'll do it. It's simple, like simple stuff. Justin and I will be packing our car to go to wherever we're going, and I'll have my hands full, and he'll be like, give me something. And I'll be like, no. He'll be like, we look nuts. I look like I got you carrying everything. He's like, give me something. Like, why do you have to be so do it yourself? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't like the feeling of needing someone. That's a problem. I know. Me and my therapist are working on that. I don't know if I'll get it. But I don't like the feeling of needing someone. So for me, it's very much like, it's not good. But I'm very much like, I don't want you to ever think I need you for anything. Even if I do, like, you ain't gonna know it. Like, I'm gonna be out here figuring it out with my damn self. So for me, I think that it goes back to me just being like a very much like, I'm not about to let you know I need you or that I want you to do this. It's like, I'm gonna be good by myself. I need to figure that out though, because I clearly have some issues. That's not good. But with that being said, y'all, this is our episode tonight. Ivy and I are ready to probably go to bed.
Well, I'm ready to eat and go to bed. Like,
same. I'm ready to eat and go to bed.
I'm probably gonna be like just eating, like my eyes gonna be half closed, eating.
Yes.
Inhaling the food. But.
Same. I'm just gonna hurry up and eat and get ready to go to bed because I am beat.
And I probably shouldn't eat and go right to bed.
But oh well, we'll be all right. God knows our heart, and maybe He'll make the carbs count a little less. I don't know. He'll figure it out, speed up the metabolism, something.
Yeah, I'll work it out.
But yeah, so I'm glad we got this out the way before this weekend, because I was worried if we waited till this weekend, it would be like a burden on us. I was like, let me go ahead and get this out the way while we can. Yeah, same. And I wanted to be about Kristen and Lance and not about us trying to record our podcast.
Right.
So y'all, we will be hopefully doing an in-person episode next time I see you, but we'll figure that out as well, because I know you got some things going on when you come. So anyways, Ivy, great episode. It was good talking to you. And y'all know the normal stuff. Subscribe on YouTube now. We officially have videos. So subscribe on YouTube. Comments, subscribe. Yeah, share all of that. Like, if y'all are enjoying it, I'm really proud of us. Let me see how many views we have has it been a week? It's been about a week since we released.
Yeah, it's been about a week.
So let me check and see how many views we have, because I need y'all to like get our views up. But so far on our last one, we have 98 views in 6 days. So I'm pretty proud about that. So yeah. So with that being said, y'all, we appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you're doing, and we promise that we'll keep the content coming, and we appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys.